Again, of course, the big shadow hanging over the entire movie industry right now is the upcoming acquisition of Warner Brothers. It looks like it's going to be Netflix, but Paramount has not given up the ghost on their attempts to try to get it. Of course, they countered with a $30 per share. David Ellison has been very vocal about our bid is the better bid sort of thing. Well, Warner Brothers has now, this comes to us from Variety, Warner Brothers Discovery has officially now rejected Paramount's $30 share acquisition offer, calling it an inferior offer to the Netflix deal, and alleging that the Ellisons are not providing full backstop financing. Now, I'm going to read this because it gets a little bit into the financial weeds of it, but I think the basic gist of it is this. This whole thing is really being driven by David Ellison's daddy, who I don't blame him for that. If my dad had $500 billion, I'd be doing this too. So no shade on David for this at all. We'd all do this. But Larry Ellison, Mr. Oracle, the basic premise of this is that it's Larry Ellison and his money that is guaranteeing the takeover bid by Paramount. Like, if all things fail, Larry Ellison's going to cover the checks. But Warner Brothers is saying, after we really went through the wording of the offer, and our lawyers did too, he's saying he's backing it up, but he's not actually backing it up. Therefore, the deal is inferior. Now, I'm going to read this a little bit at length because, again, it gets into the financial weeds, but I think it's interesting and I think it's worth learning. So Variety writes this. Warner Brothers Discovery's board has formally said no thanks to the $108 billion takeover bid from David Ellison's Paramount Skydance, unanimously reiterated its support for the Netflix bid. Following the Warner Brothers announcement, Paramount affirmed that it will continue to make its case directly to shareholders for the latest $30 per share hostile takeover, indicating that it will not be going any higher. Now that's a change. Remember, David Ellison has been dropping comments and quotes in the media saying, oh yeah, the $30 isn't our best and final. We'll do better. But now they're saying, no, we're not going to improve the offer, which is interesting. Warner Brothers Discovery said it remains committed to its mega deal with Netflix, under which the streamer would buy the Warner Brothers Studios, HBO, and HBO Max for $27.75 per share. That would take place after Warner Brothers' planned third quarter 2026 spinoff of Discovery Global. Now, this is where it gets into the conflicting stuff. Let's see, where is it? I want to get down to it. Okay, here it is. The terms of the Netflix merger are superior. The Paramount offer provides inadequate value and imposes numerous significant risks and costs on Warner Brothers Discovery. Warner Brothers Discovery's board said in a letter to shareholders. The company also documented the sequence of interactions with Paramount in a filing. According to the Warner Brothers Discovery board letter, Paramount has consistently misled Warner Brothers shareholders that its proposed transaction had the full backstop from the Ellison family, but it does not, and it never has. Per the Warner Brothers Discovery board, the most recent Paramount Skydance proposal includes a $40.65 billion equity commitment for which there is no Ellison family commitment of any kind. Instead, they propose that you rely on an unknown and opaque revocable trust for the certainty of the crucial deal funding. Warner Brothers Discovery is here referring to the revocable trust held by Larry Ellison, and which, by the way, that trust that was going to have Saudi money and all this kind of money, the players involved in the trust have been going through a musical chairs rotation because some of the big backers of that trust have now withdrawn. It's a little uncertain. Basically, it's this. Warner Brothers still believes that Netflix's deal just to buy the studio and HBO Max, while Warner Brothers spins off Discovery Global and all the television assets, is the better deal, and that while on paper the Paramount deal may look better, the terms within it, Warner Brothers thinks, puts themselves at financial liability and financial risk, and that they are not properly guaranteeing their bid at all. That's the final thing. So Rob, you know, it's always a little more murky when we get into the purely business side of it. But this is the one of the most seismic shifts ever happening in the history of Hollywood with Warner Brothers getting acquired. It's worth it. Guys, we want to take a second to thank a sponsor of this video, Aura. Guys, if you are anything like me, you swear every year you're going to be on top of your Christmas shopping, and then suddenly it's December 20th, the shelves are empty, and you're standing around in Target asking yourself, does my aunt even like candles? But this year, I am not doing that because of Aura Frames. It's completely saved me. See, I always struggled with what to get people in my life, but this year I'm going to give out a couple of Aura Frames, and it's hands down the most personal, meaningful gift that I can possibly give. And here's the best part. Aura lets you upload unlimited photos and videos. Plus, the frame comes in a premium gift box with no price tag, so it feels like a classy, well thought out gift, even if you bought it last minute. Guys, you can't gift wrap togetherness, but you can frame it. So for a limited time, save on the perfect gift by visiting auraframes.com to get $35 off Aura's best-selling Carver matte frames named #1 by Wirecutter by using promo code CAMPEA at the checkout. That's auraframes.com, promo code Campea. This deal is exclusive to our listeners and frames sell out fast. So order yours now to get it in on time for the holidays. Support the show by mentioning that we sent you at checkout. Terms and conditions apply. We've seen the number of people who are backing this bid coming in and out. The people who would make up this trust are questionable. Now they're saying in the actual paperwork, there is no actual guarantee that Ellison's personal money. By the way,
I was about to talk about their market capitalization.
Here's the thing. Oracle's value since the start of Paramount bidding for it has dropped by nearly 50%.
Well,
they've lost nearly $300 billion
since
in market
September.
Cap.
I was going to give you, I've got hard numbers.
And by the way, it's not just because of the Warner Brothers takeover bid, but they don't have the money they used to have.
Yeah. Okay. So their market capitalization from September to now dropped $360 billion from its peak at nearly $1 trillion. And as of December 17th, the company is only worth $513 billion.
I love that we use the word only
in
front of $513
so
billion.
They have a number of things. They have missed revenue expectations. They have massive they have massive capital expenditures. They have rising debt concerns, client concentration risks, and funding setbacks because they've heavily gone into AI, data centers. Here's the thing. There's been a lot of people talking about AI. Is the market going to melt down over this? Because AI, they haven't figured out how to monetize it yet. In my little AI journey over the last 13 days or 14 days, I'm convinced more than ever that AI is our future in terms of especially Hollywood. But people have to know that it's not making the images. It's all before you get to set. It is going to revolutionize, if you use it right, revolutionize how movies are made, but it will not replace the human element. And they just don't understand how it's going to be used yet. People just think you're going to press a button and magically things appear. That's not the way it's going to work. And I think that, look, everyone's panicking, but it'll all come out in the wash. But like we always say, that's a lot of money, dude. If you have a company that was worth almost $1 trillion in September, and because you're spending, and I'm going to buy a studio, I'm going to buy another studio, and your market cap goes down $360 billion in 4 months, why don't you concentrate on making Paramount great again? Why not do that? You already own it.
Yeah.
We also make good deals.
We didn't touch on it, but also it was backed by Jared Kushner. He's backed out of the deal.
Well, again, that's what I'm talking about, the trust fund that they were setting up. So they've had there are people who were committed that are no longer committed to it. So it's been kind of a revolving door there. So the Ellison commitment is really non-existent. The trust fund that Ellison was going to head up is shaky at best. And Warner Brothers is just looking at all this and saying, this isn't solid. The Netflix deal is solid. I don't know whether they're right or not, but this is what Warner Brothers' position is that the Netflix deal is solid, it's backed, it's guaranteed, and it offers us our smoothest transition. And so they are recommending to their shareholders, we got to go with the Netflix deal.
Yeah, they're already showing their commitment. Look, do I believe Ted Sarandos 100%? No. But I do think that he's making moves that lead me to believe, and having talked to people at Warner Brothers now, 2 people, that they would prefer that deal. So, hey, why not? I mean, it's going to happen. It's going to be inevitable. I think Netflix is the way to go.
Yeah, I agree. And I think we were looking at the Financial Times article yesterday in that text thread, and I just wanted to quote from that. It said Brian Ballard, a fundraiser who runs the top lobbying firm in Washington by 2025 revenue,
Oh yeah,
has relinquished Paramount as a client and retained Netflix as a client.
yeah.
That's interesting as well.
That's huge.
It's interesting as
huge.
well. That's for Washington lobbying. So we'll see.
And that could be a major thing there too. So again, the next step, the next domino that has fallen, it's Warner Brothers has now officially rejected the newest offer from Paramount. How this continues to evolve, we will keep our eye on. Guys, question is for you. What do you think about all this? Whatever your perception is of this, jump down to the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching this video. Make sure you like the video, leave a comment, and subscribe to our channel. And don't forget, we have a daily podcast called the John Campea Show podcast, available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or your favorite podcasting app of choice. Go and subscribe to it today so it'll be there when you need it.